Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Shedman 101 here. I've got a really good treat for you guys today. We're currently going to be working on a 1976 Honda CB404 Super Sport. Okay, so the bike at the moment is currently a friend of ours. He's basically tasked us to get the bike running. It's currently been sat in his house for 4 years, not running. It currently doesn't have a battery, the fuel tank's been empty, and also the oil has all been drained on the bike. So the task we're going to be doing today is basically giving the bike a once over and see if we can get it running. The task we're going to be carrying out today on the bike, we're going to be inspecting the fuel tank to make sure there's no deposits. Any deposits that are in the fuel tank we will get rid of. Make sure that's also checking the filter in the fuel tank as well from blockages. Also going to get the bike full up with oil with a new sump, and basically run it over to make sure it's not there's no loud knocking or banging or any damages to the bike at the moment, as well as fitting a new battery. Okay, so let's get cracking. Okay guys, so first task we're going to be carrying out today is removing the fuel tank and then inspecting it before we put fuel in it, to ensure that when we do put fuel in it, it's not going to drain down any deposits of any stuff we don't want getting into the carburetors and blocking up any of the jets. Okay, so it's a very simple task of removing the fuel tank. Unlike new bikes now, there's nothing literally holding the fuel tank in apart from rubber grommets and also a lip which is then held down by the seat. So to remove the fuel tank on these, it's very simple. Same with your seat cover. There's a key insert on the side of your bike which allows us to put the ignition key in, open up the seat, and that'll then let us gain access to our fuel tank. At that point then, all it does to get the fuel tank out is to lift it up and then pull it out. Alright, okay, right, so now we have the fuel tank removed. I've already removed the valve from it, and also the filter as well from the valve. Upon inspection, we've obviously found that this filter is actually snapped off. So we obviously have to source a new part for this one. Okay, so these are what the filters look like. It's like a pre-filter. It just stops any deposits from getting into the jets, any last ones getting into the jets and then blocking them up. Okay guys, so next step we're going to carry out today is we're going to basically blow through the fuel tank with compressed air spaces to remove any dust particles or any contaminants from inside of it. A few safety points. So when we're always working with compressed air, it's always advisable to wear safety goggles and also ear defenders as well, to avoid an injury to yourself. So very important as well when blowing it through. Any dust could shoot back up through the tank, get into your eyes when you're breathing. So it's actually quite good for getting inside the actual fuel tank as well, and blowing out any dust or contaminants. Right, so obviously we've blown through the fuel tank, get rid of any contaminants, so I'm actually going to show you now the importance of why blowing through a tank is actually quite advisable, really. So if you want to zoom, put the camera into
so as you can see, we've blown through the fuel tank. We've blown out, like, you know, quite a few relatively large paint deposits from inside the tank. So what usually the manufacturers do with these tanks, they actually spray paint the inside of them. Basically gives a protection, but obviously after a while, with the age of the bikes, this paint starts to come off. Starts to actually settle in the bottom. So it's what gives you the importance of why we actually blow through fuel tanks when they've been sitting for quite a while, or even if, you know, every couple of years is quite an old bike, it's quite good to inspect the fuel tank. So, you know, with these you've actually quite large paint particles like that find the inside of your fuel tank. Okay, and you can obviously understand that after time that with even one of these filters, even though they sit quite high up in the tank, you know, once the fuel starts to get quite low down and you've got quite a few of these blocking up your filter, that's really going to affect the performance of the bike after time, especially with these ones which are just gravity fed into your carburetors and not actually fuel injected, so it hasn't actually got a fuel pump in the bike. Okay, so the next step now we're going to be filling. So the bike has already been drained as it was sitting in its front room. So now what we're going to do with the bike is fill it back up of oil, sump back up of oil. Currently holds around 3.5 litres of semi-synthetic 10W/40 oil. What we're going to do, we're going to get the oil in there and then we're going to kick it over a few times just to get the oil lubricated around the system. Okay guys, so what we're going to do now, upon further inspection we actually found that it has still got oil in it, loads of old oil that's been sitting in there. So change the plan now. What we're going to do, drain the oil out, inspect it, then inspect the oil filter, and then put new oil in it, kick it through and start lubricating all the components inside the engine. Okay, so remember guys, when you're handing in any oils, when you fuel substances, it's always important to use gloves. Obviously risk of dermatitis, and also some of these can actually be carcinogenic. So not advisable to allow your body to absorb any of these substances. So safety first. Okay, so now we have the oil currently draining out of the bike. Usually advisable, like it's very rare, but I would actually drain the oil without the engine being running first. But as the bike has been sitting for 4 years, we just currently don't know the state of the engine, so we want to check it over first before we start it up. Usually when you are doing oil changes, it's advisable to allow the engine to warm up. It allows the oil, viscosity of the oil to become a lot thinner and allows it to drain a lot more efficiently. But with this bike, as it hasn't been run for 4 years, better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so now we've finished draining the oil from the sump and inspecting the oil filter. With respect to the old oil filter, that seems to be in good nick. Usually when you're doing an oil change, it's advisable to when you're doing a service is to change the oil filter as well as your at the same time. But due to this one, it looks like some pretty good nick. So what we're going to do, we're going to fill it up with some brand new oil, which is some 10W/40 premium. So it's a semi-synthetic oil. It's pretty good quality. So this will take 3.5 litres into the sump. Once we then do it, we'll then give the engine a kick over without any of the ignition on, just to start lubricating all the moving parts in the combustion engine. It's literally just on the line. Top line, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
If you like when the engine's running, it'll circulate all round. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next phase. It's going to be installing the battery. So before we install the battery, we're then going to do a voltage test on it to make sure that the battery is actually healthy. It should be healthy, it's a brand new battery. So after we've tested that, we're then going to fit the battery in the bike and then carry out a function test on all the electrics to make sure there's no fault in any of the circuits on the bike. Okay, so we're going to use my multimeter. I'm going to switch it to DC and test for voltage on my battery. It should be around 12.5 volts, what we're looking for. Okay, so we're reading about 12.58 volts DC. So that's indicating to us that that's a healthy battery. Okay, right, so now we've got the battery fitted, we're now going to carry out the function test on the electrical circuit of the bike. Okay, so we're going to turn on ignition, hopefully some lights should then come on, that'll be a good sign at first, and then we'll carry out function tests on all the different switches and options of the bike. Okay, so now we've obviously got power going to the bike. The first thing we're going to test is the ignition of the bike, see if it starts over with the starter motor. So checking that the bike's in neutral, which it is, give a quick spin on the back wheel to make sure the gear's not engaged, and then I'm going to go for a start. Okay, so that's a good indication now. Now the engine is actually ticking over, so the starter motor is engaging. The next step now will be that we're then going to fit the fuel tank and fit some fuel in it, and then see if the bike will actually start up, and then assess for running of the bike, see the condition of the engine. Okay, so now we're going to fit the fuel tank and then connect up the fuel lines to the carburetor. Some comments? Okay, so we've checked the fuel line,
Doesn't seem to be any visible leaks at the moment now, so we're going to go for a start on the bike. Not expecting it to start, but if it does, then it'll be good. It'll be a good one. Hey guys, so we've made quite a bit of good progress today. Just a little recap of what we have done today. We've taken the fuel tank off the bike, we've cleaned the fuel tank out, removed any contaminants or deposits of paint or any rust that may be present in the fuel tank. We've then refitted the fuel tank on the bike. We've also carried out a fault diagnosis, also a test as well on the electrical circuit of the bike by replacing the new battery in. The battery's all been perfect. We've connected the bike up, fuel system up to the bike. We've actually got the bike running as well. However, we have noticed that there's a bit of a fuel leak on the bike coming from the carburetors. So in the next video we're going to show you how to remove the carburetors, strip the carburetors down, clean out all the jets and carburetors, inspect the gaskets and replace the gaskets, and then put it back together and then retune the bike. Thank you for watching guys. Please like and subscribe down in the comment section below and stay tuned for part 2.